Are we all set? You're not muted. Are we all set? You're not muted.
Yes, a little bit echo there, but go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Listar. Welcome back to Blast the Process, where we are raising Sega awareness, playing a bunch of Sega games because we can. I got with me SuperSonic71087. Hello there.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to go.
He's going to play Animaniacs for us, and he's ready to go, so we're ready to go. Anytime you're ready, you can go ahead and just count us down. You're all set.
Will do. All right, hello everybody. My name is SuperSonic71087. I am bringing you Animaniacs, which is a very fun, popular 90s cartoon that a lot of us do remember. And this is obviously the Sega Genesis version, which I believe is a more superior version over the Super Nintendo. I'm just saying. But anyways, when we're ready to go, I'll give you a countdown. See, I might play the demo screen. Yep, that's what it does. Okay. Here we go. Start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we're in the intro stage. Thank you very much. So we just escaped the Warner Tower, and we have our three characters with us. We got Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, the Warner brothers and the Warner sister. So this intro stage is basically showing us how to use all three characters. So as we saw with Yakko, he's able to push and pull objects as well as use a paddle ball to stun enemies. Mostly Ralph, because, you know, he's a nuisance. And then with Wacko, he's able to use a mallet, which can destroy boulders, rocks, anything that's breakable, and also ignite cannons like this. And then we got Dot, who's of course is the cutest character, and she'll blow kisses to male characters in order to immobilize them, because she can. Alright, so we are in our first stage. Each stage is basically kind of imitating a different kind of movie setting. So this one's kind of like Indiana Jones-ish, sort of. And this is also, in my opinion, the land of auto-scrollers. So this is like the only set of auto-scrollers you will see in this game. So we are now on a boat, just waiting to get to the end of this screen here. We're going to see an elephant. We're just going to whack him with our mallet and just send him down so he doesn't spray water at us. And then from here, we're just going to switch to Yakko. We're going to see Ralph kind of just balancing around the little alligator there and getting chomped on by the piranhas. So now in this section, we're going to go ahead and drop down here to turn on this switch. Otherwise, the game intends us to basically stand on the platforms and wait for it to come down. So what I'm going to do here is when I see that first platform near me, I'm going to go ahead and take a damage boost right here. I think that may have been a little late. I'm not sure if I'll make that jump. We'll find out. Nope, it was a little late for that, so now we're going to have to like use these extra platforms to get across here. It's no big deal. And of course we got this little train here. You can basically use your mallet to change the direction of the tracks here. We want to stay above, because as you can see on the bottom of the screen, there's X's. And that's pretty much going to lead to death. So we don't want that to happen. So now we're just going to go ahead and just chill a little bit. Might as well kind of say that it is a huge honor to be a part of this marathon, Blast the Process. It's my first run for this marathon. I'm very happy to do this. Playing a lot of Sega games, and I grew up with Sega as a child when the Sega Genesis came out. Like, my dad surprised me when I was a kid. I was like 6 years old when I got the Sega Genesis. And the first game I ever got was Sonic 2. And since then, I've been playing a lot of Sega games, and normally I would go to the video store and rent a bunch of them, including this game here. And when I first played it, I instantly fell in love with it, and years later, like when I started speedrunning, this actually didn't come up until until like maybe sometime that I start the game, or however that saying goes. Like, I'm not that good at English really, but English is hard. Anyway, so we are now approaching our first boss, which is obviously Ralph quite a bit here. And since this boss is pretty boring, we're just going to try to stun lock him in this spot. Just basically hit him 7 times, and then he will fall off this bridge. Hence giving us the ability to grab our first collectible item. So easy boss, no big deal. And now we see the stage clear screen. It actually differs in difficulty. Since we're playing the easy difficulty, the score countdown is slightly longer. If we play on normal, it kind of reduces it a little bit, and then if we play on hard, it'll reduce it basically like hardly anything. But there are between the difficulties. The boss health is slightly less in the easy difficulty, and then it kind of gradually grows as you play the harder difficulties. Alright, so we are in the space zone here. Kind of reminds me of Star Wars or Star Trek, whichever you want to think of, really. I'm going to have this little bit of a slow climbing platform here. Just make sure we got to avoid these laser beams. Because sometimes if you stay like at the edge of the platform and you get hit by a laser beam, you can actually fall off and die. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and skip this section here. There's actually a health like to the very left of the game. Alright, so now this section, we're just going to go ahead and stand on this third block, just kind of walk across. The game has a lot of character switches in it. And the character switches are always in order. It'll go from Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. So if you had to like switch to like a different character, you would have to like basically switch the amount of buttons on the C. So now we are kind of in this little, I guess, relaxing session. We're just basically paddleballing Ralph here to stun him so he can't grab us. And then let a meteor just basically take him off screen. So that's a pretty powerful meteor. Alright, now we're in this I like to think this portion is a little tough, because if you miss that, you'll have to kind of wrap around and just basically try to climb back up. Ralph is being a nuisance here. Just gonna go ahead and send him back down to the ladder a little bit. Okay, let him climb up. We're gonna leave that crate there to keep the door open. Okay, now we got this section here. This can actually crush us and kill us instantly. So we're gonna have to be careful here. And the move's a little random. It's actually not too bad. So we're just gonna go ahead and get these crates. Keep this door open. This is probably the slowest opening door. So we're just gonna look for a visual cue, which is right about there, and then we should be able to get through just fine without having to wait through the entire door opening. Alright, and shout outs to Chemical Plant Zone with these platforms here. Alright, we're going to switch to Wacko because we need to break this block here. Open this switch. I'm gonna switch to Yakko here. Oops. Yeah, there's a little bit of a lag spike because of that that little lava bomb exploding. So we're approaching the boss here. While we walk on this road down. I'm not really sure what this thing is. Looks like it's got dinosaur legs and whatnot. And the game is actually nice enough to give us a couple healing items, but we're in full health right now. Alright, so we meet up with, yet again, Ralph. And these platforms actually flip as the longer you stand on them. And right now I'm not doing a great job of getting up here. Should be fun. I'm gonna go ahead and paddle ball Ralph here. Ah, jeez. This section is a little annoying. And then Ralph will start throwing lights at us. Because, yeah, we're like inside a studio, so there's going to be a lot of things that you see inside a studio. I'm going to watch out for these green smoke here. And then there's like sparks that can hurt us. Go ahead and do that one more time. And we're approaching the end of this stage here. I'm gonna go ahead and just use my paddle ball and grab the item, and we're done with the stage. So we got 2 collectibles so far. We got our Indiana Jones hat, and we got some space helmet with horns on it. It looks pretty cool. While we get this stage to count down, gonna head into our next stage, which is kind of like a westernish type of stage. And this stage is actually pretty early boss fights, which we will see shortly. And you will see how annoying it can get. This is like my least favorite stage of the game. And watch out for the horses that charges at you. And luckily it's platforms, so yeah, just casually just jump on a horse's back and then just, you know, use them as a platform. Pretty cool. Right now we're inside this barn here. We're just gonna go ahead and push these crates over these spikes, because spikes are actually, I think you take like 2 or 3 damage on spikes. It's not instant death, thankfully. So that's a plus. I'm gonna go ahead and let Ralph try to spray us there. And you kind of notice that I jumped right next to that light there, because if I kept on going, that light would have hit me. Now you can see Flavio and Marita, the dancing hippos right there. Oops. And these barrels are actually on a cycle. There's 4 barrels to a cycle. And then we have like a little bit of the leeway. Kind of need to have a little more health here because I will be performing a damage boost in the next screen. We're going to go ahead and switch to Wacko here. And there's Mindy and Buttons. We're going to say bye to them and kind of send them off on their barrels. Like that. Alright, so we're gonna switch to Yakko here. Hopefully I can take this hit. Let's see. Yep, barely took it. So on the top left of the screen, you can see that the expression change whenever we get hit. So as you can see that it's blinking right now, that's basically we're on our last hit. So one more hit and we will die and lose a life. So we're gonna try to stay in this state for a little bit. Now we got some Yoku blocks to deal with. Shout outs to Mega Man. I'm gonna actually take a tactical death here. I'm gonna grab this extra life and then die to refill my health. And it almost seems like I didn't lose a life at all. And it's kind of funny how they conveniently placed it there. It's like they're trying to bait you to grab it. But little did they know that it's a good speedrun strat, especially for a marathon setting. So as you can see here, I did skip that bottom section there. Otherwise I would have to like hit this seesaw to kind of go around. And hit the top. Now we're heading into the train tracks here. We have 2 RNG bosses. Obviously it's Ralph. But we have a pie launcher. And this pie launcher goes in different directions. And there's like no way we can actually manipulate it to where we want it to go. So basically just got that. Sometimes Ralph can be a nuisance as well because he moves back and fight a bit. And when there's a pie like basically right near him, he'll just move away like at the last second. It's like probably one of the dumbest bosses. Look at him, he's just standing there this time, and like the pies just don't want to like go near him. Ralph is just MVP, so I just need 2 more hits here. I don't want him to hit me though. But thankfully there is a lollipop right after this, so we can grab it and refill a little bit of our health. Alright, just need 1 more pie on Ralph. There we go, that's perfect. Alright, now what, my opinion, the harder boss of the stage. Gonna go ahead and switch to Yakko here to push this block to get over this camera. Then we switch back to Wakko. As you can pretty much tell, Wakko is the MVP of this team because of his mallet. He's useful, especially this one, because that lid up there, it opens whenever it wants to, and then when it closes, it'll try to land on us, thus damaging us in the process. And the coal like blows up too, so I might die here. This is sad. This is the one stage I was really worried about. Go. Okay, now that we see that Ralph is running, that's pretty much giving us the implication that we're towards the end of the stage. We're just gonna go ahead and stand on here and let him drop the item that we need. It's gonna be stumbling a little bit right here. And there we have it. That's the end of stage 3. Alright, so we have 3 of the 5 items collected so far. We're going to head into our next stage right after this score countdown. And this is pretty much like your horror section. And we see the Grim Reaper coming up. So what do? We just kiss him. Just get past him. No big deal. Otherwise, I think if you run into the Grim Reaper, it's instant death. So you don't want that to happen. Because it makes a lot of sense, you know. Alright, so there's going to be quite a bit of character switches here. So we're going to use Yakko for the majority of this section here. Oops. We'll go ahead and push that there, and then we're going to switch to Dot. Heading into this haunted house. See some floating books up there. Those are all completely RNG. They usually appear in different sections, depending on when you arrive at the level. Alright, so now we're going to meet with Dracula. Just going to try to kiss him from a distance, because if we try to get close to him, he's going to disappear and go to the other side of the screen. So we basically use the trail of the kiss to our advantage and immobilize him to make him disappear. Alright, so we're gonna head into this section here. We see Pinky in the brain. We're gonna use this French horn monstrosity to try to suck us in. But instead, we're gonna let him suck up these silverware or china. Whatever you call it in the kitchen. Plates and vases and stuff. And he blows up, thus allowing us to continue on with the stage. We're going to go ahead and grab this this box here, because otherwise we won't be able to jump over this shelf, so we would have to use that. Now this is actually a puzzle, but we're just going to go ahead and drop those boxes right away so we can open this part of the door. And then we're going to need this box here to give us a little bit of a leverage boost. So now the boxes are back to where they were. We're just going to go ahead and push them in order. And this will open the second portion of the door. And now we're going to go ahead and head into the sewers. And as you can see with the skull sign, it is death if you go in the water. Because apparently they can't swim, so once they enter the water, like, they're instantly dead. So we're gonna go ahead and let this water drain here. Gonna open this plug. I'm gonna let this water drain. We're gonna get a free extra life here. Okay, we're about to approach the boss fight for this stage, and there is a bossman up here. Pretty interesting. So we're gonna go ahead and bring this box here and switch to Wacko because he's our star player. So basically there's these switches. Depending on where you're standing, the boss will try to be on the opposite side of where you are. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to the left side every time he's jumping up to lock him in that spot. And you have to do this 7 times. We're about to finish this right about now. And he's going to drop the mask for us. Otherwise, he can pretty much appear in any direction. But I recently found out about this boss minute not too long ago. And it saves a lot of time. So now we got 4 of our collectibles. We got stage 5 coming up, which is a really difficult stage. It mostly utilizes Yakko and Wacko mostly. Dot isn't really used in this section very much. And as we can see, it's stage 5. We don't see this on the overworld map either. So we have to get the 4 collectibles first in order to get this stage. I'm going to switch to Wacko here. So once I jump on this seesaw, I'm going to hold the jump button to send us up a lot higher. Now we're going to enter this elevator. I'm going to go ahead and take these hits intentionally, just to keep the elevator moving. So even though it looks like my health is in danger, it really isn't. I should be fine in this part. Now we see Pinky in the brain again. I'm going to go ahead and send them up here. And they're going to do some sort of jumping around. I mean, there's a audio cue I'm going to listen for to activate the elevator again. Alright. I could have done that a little earlier. It would barely just graze that little laser section there. We kind of see Ralph just snoozing away, not knowing where we're at. So we're pretty much in the clear from him for the time being. Okay, and we're going to move these crates around in this particular order just to get through. I'm going to switch back to Wacko here. Now this section is very annoying. This is the hippo tower. So we got these hippos at the top floor. They're just dancing around, creating havoc. Basically causing these pebbles to drop down. And we just got to make sure not to get hit by the pebbles while we're in the air, otherwise that would send us straight to the pit below. So I'm going to go ahead and maneuver here slightly. Oh, I just missed that jump. That's okay. I was just a little early on that platform jump. Go ahead and navigate through here again. Pebble's gonna drop. And there's Slappy up there too, just chilling. There we go. Now we're through the section. I'm gonna go ahead and use the mallet to push this switch. Get that platform. I'm gonna break the mallet, or break the block here with Wacko's mallet. disable this bomb here, or ignite it rather. It's like those radioactive cans on the bottom of it, which will shoot upward to bring down a staircase. Very convenient. And we're gonna go ahead and switch to, actually no, I should have kept Wacko on here. Alright, now this section, you gotta make sure to get through this pretty quickly, otherwise the exploding that's happening on the left side, it's gonna kill you, and, and we don't want that to happen. So. And you can see that the game is trolling us with an extra life right by the spikes, expecting us to push the boxes around, try to grab for it. But we're not gonna fall for that, because we know what they're trying to do to us. Just gonna activate this switch here. Now we switch to Yakko. And now there's a helicopter in the background that's gonna shoot this glass, which can actually hurt us. So I'm gonna take this a little safely here. It deals about 2 damage for one shard. Go ahead and bring that here. Now switch to Wacko. Alright. Now this section, all these fireballs are RNG, so we just gotta maneuver through some of them. There's just one case where we do have to use the hydrant to bring out the water. This part right here, because we need this box to push to the platform on the right. There's a safety chicken up there in case you're low on health that you can take. I don't think I should be needing it, because we're pretty much towards the end of this screen anyway. We got buttons right there. We're just gonna say hi and bye to them, really. And then we're gonna grab this Oscar, which I think is called an Edgar in the show. Now we're gonna be in this cutscene here. This cutscene is roughly 2 minutes long. You can't skip it, but there is one way you can skip it, but you have to beat the game 1 time through in order to skip this cutscene. But so far in every run, this cutscene will be played out. So we see Pinky and the Brain plotting their next plan. And of course we hear the iconic Pinky and the Brain song in the background. And basically their plot is trying to take control of the movie industry. So like all the movie items that we collected so far, they will be taking it. And then they will try to use it to take over the world. Then Brain will just say, "We're not rats, we're mice." I can't do the voices very well, but... It's good. Brain's got a big head. He's got a humongous cranium. More than likely has the same IQ as Dr. Robotnik. It's like, "Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering?" It's like, "I think so, Brain." No. Although he doesn't say pondering on the text here, but that's what he says in the cartoons. Alright. Should be starting this fight in about a few seconds here. So we're gonna fight against this Frankensteinish type of boss. And there is actually an order that we use here. We're gonna start with Dot. We're gonna use her kiss to immobilize Pinky. Because the boss will like throw bombs, and a lot of times it will light it up. But with Dot, we basically use the kiss to basically immobilize Pinky for a little bit. And then he will just throw a non-lighted bomb. And we just use Yakko to push it towards the boss, and then Wacko to use a mallet to detonate it and deal damage. As you just saw there, sometimes the boss can kick, when you're in close range. So we try to stay far away from it, so that way Pinky is able to throw the bomb. You can kind of see that I kind of jump into the bomb to basically like intercept it. So now this is phase 2 of the boss. The legs are just kind of roam around on its own while we kind of try to defeat the top side of it. I'm just going to take these damage boosts because since I have plenty of health. Sometimes the legs can hurt the boss itself, like the top half, which is pretty interesting. Okay, we should be getting towards the end here. Oops, switch to Yakko. That's the end of it, and time is coming up when I grab the last item. You're gonna see the legs just take out the top half. And they blow up. Grab the items, and oops, time.
Nice job. Good run.
Ah, thanks a lot.
Way underestimate too.
What'd I end up getting?
About a 2958.
Wow. I'm actually surprised
What's-
I got a sub 30.
What's the world record for this?
World record for this one is a 27:56.
But sub 30 is like really.
Yeah, it's a good time to get.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was a very fun run.
Good.
Had a bit of a mishap there, but overall it went really well, like the way I expected it. And of course, I have the world record in this category. I just got it like a couple days ago, so.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to be at least in the sub 30 range, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Do you have anything else to say? Any shout-outs or anything?
Yeah, shout-outs to Chaos, who helped me learn this game. And also, thank you very much to the Blast the Process crew for putting this marathon together. It's very great. Sega is great overall. Like, there's a lot of awesome games coming up. And I'm personally, obviously since I'm called Supersonic, I'm a Sonic guy. And I'm personally looking forward to the Sonic Block tomorrow. But there is so many good games on the list for today, tomorrow, and for like the rest of the marathon anyway. So I'm really honored to be a part of it, as I mentioned at the start of the game. So that's all from me. Thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Thank you so much. Yes, indeed, everyone. We'll be back in just a few moments. Next up, we got Nooster with Shadow Run. Sure to be a blast. A blast. Oh!